Christmas. The NFL is back this Sunday. We're back. NFL week what? 14, 13?
Week 14.
Jeez, man. It's coming down the pipe here. Playoffs loading very soon.
I know.
A lot of positions to be filled, my friend. The tops, it seems like there's a nice drop-off, but there's a good gap. Like the top 4 teams in each conference are kind of locked in there.
Yeah.
So we'll see what's going on. How about last week?
Last week, we were on the same teams all 5 games last week, so we were both 4-1.
Yeah.
I'm now 37-30-3.
Yeah.
Justin is 31-33-3.
Oh, we're right there, baby.
Right there. I
Right
teased
there.
it for a second. Let's start game 1. Lions -4.5. They win by what, 5?
Shouldn't have
So
been.
we just got it right. Yeah, we got lucky there. But how about those Lions, right? I mean, that was a tough win, to say the least. You got to go into New Orleans. It's not an easy place to play, but they got it done. The pass rush looked a little bit better, but still, you'd like to see them just not let a team get back in the game like that. I mean, that was way too close for comfort at the end, especially when you go up 21-0 in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You'd have liked to have seen them keep going, but they got way too chill, way too lax, and ultimately they just sweat that one out. And so did all of Lions Nation, all of one pride.
It was nice to see Hutch kind of back a little bit. He played a little better than he's used to. We got the ultra veteran Bruce Irvin. Honestly, looked pretty good.
He looked good.
We just signed this week another 40-year-old veteran.
Yeah.
I don't know what process this is, but I guess, hey, if it works, it works. But I don't know, man. It was crazy, you know? The game kind of could have been put away right away, but somehow Jameis Winston gets a crazy tip pass to Olave. They get a touchdown, and it's pressure's on, but pressure should have never been on. But I don't know. I don't know how to feel about the Lions moving forward. Like, everything looks good at moments, and then one bad move, Swiss cheese defense decides to just start shredding, and I don't know. You should also played that game without Anzalone, your top tackler, so that's another interesting factor.
Yeah. So we'll see how they fare against the Bears this week, and we'll obviously talk about that game. But a game that was one of the most electrifying offensive displays of all time, Chargers-Patriots.
I knew you were going to do that.
6-0 final.
I can't
We
believe it.
cover the spread when 6 points were scored in the game. 6. A total of 6 points. How we covered, I'll never know. But the fact that we did
Wasn't it 4.5?
says enough. It was 5.5.
5.5? Man, these games try to be close.
We got lucky at that one, and that game was
close.
miserable to watch. I'm sorry if you did, and if you're a Patriots fan like us,
Mm-hmm.
we're right there with you. It's been a tough season, but it will be worth it in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Game 3 that we covered, Colts Titans. This was a thriller. Minshew
Mania.
gets it done in
Minshew
overtime.
Mania.
Matt Gay MVP. I mean, this Colts team, they're 7-5 now. They're in the wild card race. They're in the wild card picture, actually. And despite losing Richardson early, they're finding ways to win. And this is a Colts team that's competitive. It's fun to watch. And Shane Steichen has done a great job. Him and D'Amico Ryans, for me, Coach of the Year candidates easily. Should be right there up until the end in that discussion. And right now, I'd give it to Steichen. I mean, that team is playing amazing under him.
I don't think either of them are going to win it.
I think it's going to be Dan Campbell.
No, I don't even know if it'll be Dan Campbell either. I think he's ahead of them. But I don't know. I feel like there's probably going to be like some bias toward a certain team. Like, I feel like they could be like, oh, Kyle Shanahan, or they could be like, oh, John Harbaugh, or I don't think Mike McDaniels is there yet. But I don't know. I feel like it'd just be some OP regular for some reason. It'd be unfortunate. But I think if you're talking about top 3 up and coming outsiders, I agree. I think those 3, Campbell, Steichen, and D'Amico Ryan.
Yeah, phenomenal job by Coach Steichen. And we were on Colts -1.5, so we appreciate the Matt Gay field goal win. All right, the only loss we shared, Jets, Falcons. We were on the Jets +1.5, and Trevor Siemian
He almost let a goal line run.
Not great. Not great. Zach Wilson
back.
He's back as the starter. Look, man, when you saw the Jets at 1.5, you knew it was going to be ugly. But there was something about that number that said, look, they could do it. They could pull this off. Unfortunately, they did not. And we sit here today with that as our only blemish. We don't really have to talk about the game. It was as ugly as the Chargers-Patriots was. 13-9 final.
I think Patriots-Chargers uglier.
It was. It was.
Gosh, to not score.
Don't get it twisted. It was. Game 5, though. This game was beautiful. Niners, Eagles. Finally, the Eagles lose. It was such a long time coming. They've been playing so lucky, and eventually their luck was going to run out. The Niners come into the link.
Black Air Force is on.
And open up a can of absolute whoop-ass. It was amazing to see. 42-19 the final. They couldn't stop Deebo Samuel. They couldn't stop Christian McCaffrey.
It was Dallas Part 2, but away.
Yeah. It was awesome. It was awesome. And this Niners team is clearly the best team in football, I think. I think that goes without saying. They're all healthy. They're revving. I love it. I mean, I'm not a Niners fan by any means, but I think it's fun watching them play, especially when it's against the Eagles and, you know, they show and they prove, hey, we're better than you, and you know it. I thought that was great to see.
I don't dislike the Eagles or their team. I think it's Nick Sirianni and the fans that I'm not a fan of.
And that's why I hate the Eagles. It's Nick Sirianni is an absolute punk, and their fans are evil. Their fans are evil. Like, they are notoriously known as being scumbags, and they kind of gloat in the fact that they are scumbags. Like, they like being the scumbag, and that's fine, but just so you know, no one likes you. No one is going to like you.
Never, ever.
That's not your fault, though. I mean, it's just who you've chosen to be. That's what you've meant to be.
We are Philly.
Like, you grow up knowing you're going to be a scumbag, and that's what you have to do. You accept that.
Age 5. I am scumbag.
But those are our picks last week. 4-1 for both of us. Let's go 4-1 again, shall we?
I'll be honest. Game 1 concerns me. Game 1 concerns me because it is out in the cold of Chicago. Soldier Field, Lions on the road. Favored by 3 against Chicago.
Yeah.
It was an ugly game. The Lions somehow pulled it off at home against the Bears a couple weeks ago. Fields was coming his first game back after like a month off of an injury. He played the best game of his season, probably. Maybe second to against Washington in that Thursday night game. But, I mean, the Bears are still so up and down. We don't know what to think of them. But, I mean, this game does still concern me.
Bears coming off a bye week, and that's fine. Their win over Minnesota. They've been playing good ball recently. They have. And that cannot be ignored. Now you get an extra week to prepare for the Lions that are coming into your barn. Like you said, it's going to be cold. It's going to be chilly. It's going to be windy. It's a concerning game. You're not wrong. But what's more concerning is the fact that 72% of the public is on Chicago.
Wow.
I think they saw game 1 and said, look, the Bears should have won that game on the road. Now they get the Lions at home. I'm getting a field goal game. I'm going to take the home team, right? I mean, I think the Bears could win. I think the Bears are going to do it. They've already shown they could do it earlier in the year. Let me stop you right there. I liked Bears plus 7.5 because I liked getting a touchdown against the Lions. I thought that was a really nice spot to be in. But only 3 points? I'm sorry, man. It's not happening this week. The Lions are going to roll into Soldier Field, and they're going to get it done. And I'll tell you why. We're going to get a run-first attitude going. This defense is going to play a lot better. And, above all else, last year at Lambeau Field, Jared Goff showed a capability to play in the cold. I'm not nervous of the cold as much as maybe the public wants to be. I think they get it done. I'm going to take the Lions -3.
I'll tell you what. I haven't given up on them yet. Like I said,
every week.
My mind honestly this week was towards Chicago. The cold. I'm like, this is the only game they got to play outdoors in the cold. Left in the season. Jared Goff is just not the cold guy.
No.
I mean, especially in Chicago. Yes, it's going to be cold. It's probably going to be windy, like you said. No pun intended with that windy city, because it is supposed to be windy this weekend. I think this is a game where you just ground and pound it, baby. You got a two-headed monster in the backfield, and you just run up the guts. It's pretty much plain and simple. I believe it still could be a close game, but I think even if we push, I'm going to take the Lions in this one.
Was there ever a doubt?
Probably not.
You've never not picked them.
Mm-mm.
It's your trend. It's what you do.
Only mishap was once.
Yeah.
Freaking Packers. Mm-mm-mm. All right, game 2. Oh, gosh. Denver heads to LA against the Chargers. Chargers favored at home -2.5, coming off an abysmal win. In Foxborough, 6-0. Broncos coming off a late, unfortunate loss to snap their streak of wins when they were on the road in Houston last week. That game-winning interception.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like the Broncos are probably the better team in this one. Sean Payton going to where he should have been.
That's true. That's true.
Lots of interesting things in this game, but I feel like the Broncos are the better team playing the better ball. The Chargers just have so much talent, and it's just getting wasted. I don't know how. Nothing's working. I just don't understand it.
So while I agree with you that the Broncos probably are playing better ball, that doesn't make sense as to why they're the underdog in this game. And I think the public agrees with that point because 89% of the bets are on the Broncos. So the public loves this 2.5 points here for the Broncos. And I mean, they're seeing as far away as they can from Brandon Staley and this Chargers offense. I mean, they just scored 6 points last week, right? That's kind of why I like taking them here. You get them coming off a week where they played in sloppy, muggy, just gross Foxborough. You come home, it's going to be nice, it's going to be sunny, it's going to be absolutely gorgeous indoors, right? This is a Chargers team that has shown an ability to play good against the teams that aren't great and find a way to lose against the teams that are great. This, to me, screams Chargers, and that's why I'm going to go with them here. I love that they're so heavily an underdog in the public eye, despite being the favorite in this one. They're a better team than the Broncos on paper. They just have to prove it on the field, and I think this is a week that they can absolutely do that. I'm going to take the Chargers minus the 2.5. It feels like a Charger spot, and that's why I'm going with them.
The Thunderdome is active.
The Thunderdome is active, baby.
I don't know how to feel, man. I don't know how to feel. To me, I feel like I should pick the Broncos, but like that moment where you're just like I'm picturing it in my head. I'm like, oh, there goes the Chargers winning the game. I'm going to trust myself, and I'm taking the Broncos in this one.
Okay.
I got to trust it. Sorry, no fully active Thunderdome.
It's unfortunate.
It's sparking, but
It's unfortunate. I wanted to see it, but I get where you're coming from. I wouldn't trust Staley right now either.
It's hard to, man.
And I'm not trusting Staley. I'm trusting Herbert. That's my only thing here. I'm trusting Herbert to get it done.
He's the one who can do anything. And what happened to Eckler? Where's he been?
A ghost.
A ghost of myself. Kind of gas in this one. Oh, Vikings head to Vegas. Vikings favored on the road by 3 in Vegas. Josh Dobbs coming off his worst, a bye week, but before that, his worst performance since coming to Minnesota against the Bears. 3 interceptions? 4 interceptions? 4 interceptions.
And the Raiders also coming off a bye. So 2 teams fresh off the bye.
Raiders have been interesting, They looked a lot better recently, after the Josh McDaniels departure. But they're still not playing like top-end ball, still just a very mid team.
Yeah.
And the Vikings are they're super mid, but they're hanging on like they look like they're hanging on like, yeah, we're way better than this. Which they can be, but you throw 4 interceptions and lose in a garbage game like that on Thursday night against Chicago.
Yeah, it's weird. And the funny thing about the Vikings is, for whatever reason, I'm more confident with them against a good team and less confident with them against a bad team.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of those spots where, like, the public is basically 50-50 on this one. But it's one of those spots where I just don't love Dobbs in the situation. I don't know what it is, but it feels like you get Jettas back, right? You're going to be or you would assume, a better version of yourself with Jettas in there. But something tells me, like, this number's not moving. It just feels like a weird Vegas spot where even if they don't win, I feel like it could be like 31-30. Minnesota hits a game winner, right? Just something something to me seems funky about this game, and I feel like it's going to be super close.
Oh, it'll also be interesting to see, as long as Jettas plays, will he be on a snap count? Will Dobbs feel funky? Like, I feel like I have to throw to Jefferson, you know?
Force it to
Yeah,
him.
exactly. Do I have to force it to him, even though Addison and Hockenson have been playing good outside? I have a decent run game still with the rookie in the backfield. I forget what his name is. Oh, Madison will be back too. So, but yeah, I don't know. Will he feel forced? Will he get too in his head about it, and will that cause turnovers? So, if we're riding Raiders, I'm riding Raiders with you.
I think I'm riding Raiders, but here's the thing. What did the Chiefs do well against the Raiders? They ran the ball. Pacheco went off against the Raiders. What did the Lions do well against the Raiders? They ran the ball well, right? The key to being the Raiders is clearly through the run game. And with Jettas coming back, how disciplined is Minnesota going to be? Are they going to stick to the run game, or are they going to force feed it to Jettas? That's where Dobbs could make some mistakes, set up some Raider touchdowns or points at the minimum.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a Raiders spot. So I like that we're both in on this. Raiders +3 is the pick here on STJ. That's a good pick.
Raiders. All right, on to game 4. This is going to be a very interesting game. Buffalo heads to Kansas City. Chiefs favored at home by 1.5. We've seen this game year after year get very interesting, get very wild, get very unique. Both are playing good but bad ball at the same time. So this is actually a really great matchup in the AFC, believe it or not. Because, is Buffalo just going to keep falling? Can Kansas City get one back to kind of launch themselves back into, like, the bigger talk? I don't know how to feel about this one, because Buffalo comes off that. Did they have a bye week? Who did they just play?
Yeah, the Bills had a bye week.
So they had a bye week coming off that.
The Eagles
coming off that tough overtime
loss. Yeah.
And Kansas City is coming off a horrible loss at Lambeau on Sunday night. I feel like a lot of people weren't even up for that game.
I was watching intently. I had a lot on the line in that game. And no, it was not, seeing Taylor Swift in the suites.
That might be her first loss she's witnessed.
Good.
I think.
And I like Taylor Swift, but please, I'm done.
With her in football? Yeah, I agree.
It's over the top at this point.
I agree. I agree with both.
But in this matchup, I hate this spread, dude, but I had to put it on here because it is going to be an awesome game.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen this matchup before in the past, and it's
could be a snowball.
Fireworks, right?
Could be a second snowball.
But you're getting KC at home, and they're only favored by 1.5. Like, that just screams Bills. Like, I don't know what it is, but it screams Bills to me. But every time I back the Bills, they find a way to ruin my hopes and dreams.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, while the number is telling me go Bills, my gut is telling me go Chiefs. And that's the conflicting point I'm at right now. I want to hear your thoughts before I make my final decision, because right now it's a pure question mark.
I will give you some thoughts, even though I was about to make it short and sweet because I already know what I'm rocking with. Let's be real here. Okay. The Bills have had such a questionable season, We saw them, start off like, I think 0-2, and then we're like, what is going on here? Then they go on this streak, and then they're like 4-2 or 5-2, and everyone's like, this is what I'm talking about. The Bills are the team. They just need to wake up, and they're on this stride. And what happens? They lose, they crumble, they fall apart, they fire their OC. They've looked slightly better with Brady as the OC, moving from QB coach. but they're just that team that looks like they have talent and they just can't get it done. I get it was a heartbreaker and they probably should have beat Philly 2 weeks ago.
Yes, they should have.
But I don't, they just don't know how to do what they used to do. I don't know
No.
what it is. They're not that same team that they just want. When they played that overtime game in Kansas City those few years ago, after that game, the team just it feels like everything just went downhill from that moment.
I think they're lacking the killer instinct.
They're just kind of
Just
out there
that-
playing ball.
Just that put away mentality. Like they can never put away a team.
Do you remember that game they played against Minnesota? Was it last year?
Yes, when they lost it.
Mhm.
After forcing a stop, and then Josh Allen fumbles the ball at the goal line, and they score a touchdown. It's like they can never just close out a team, and they don't have just that finishing touch. And that's where it really becomes an issue is, okay, if they're up 3 in this game, and Kansas City's got 40 seconds to score a touchdown, I'm kind of betting on Kansas City to score a touchdown. And that's the sad part is with 40 seconds left, I mean, you expect to just to basically park the bus and make sure they don't get in the end zone, right?
Mhm.
But that's exactly what would happen in this game.
It almost
Chiefs
happened.
get the ball, 40 seconds left, and they score a touchdown.
And it almost happened against the Packers this weekend.
Yeah,
They almost did that.
yeah.
I'll tell you what, and the Chiefs have not been looking good. The seems like the receiving core is dead. Travis Kelce hasn't been playing like himself really that much.
Nope.
Mahomes is just kind of running, doing the best he can. Pacheco's been pretty decent in the backfield. He has, he did get bounced? Did he get thrown out? He got thrown out of the game.
He
the
got
other day.
ejected, yeah.
Yeah, which sucked for my team, but we won. But I'm going Chiefs. I got to go Chiefs.
I know.
I know I was riding Chiefs in Philly for so long, and then I went off of Philly last week. We went on Niner gang, but I'm sticking with the Chiefs this week. And if they lose, then we'll see where we'll readjust from there. But I'm trusting Mahomes at home, especially coming off a Packers loss.
I know,
they're coming
that's
off.
the thing. They're coming off a loss,
I
too.
get I get the Bills are coming off a loss and a bye, but the Chiefs losing at Lambeau against the Packers just can't be. Andy Reid's not going to let it back to back.
I'm gonna go Bills. I'm gonna go Bills. I'm gonna be right about the Bills one of these times. I'm taking the Bills.
Maybe next time.
I was right about the Bills against Miami.
Yeah, so I picked
and
Miami.
So hopefully this is another Miami spot. We'll see. Just in a close game, I cannot trust these Bills.
All right, that's game 4. On to the last one. Oh boy, a lot riding on this one. Philly's just rolling through the gauntlet.
They are.
Philly in Dallas. Dallas favored at home by 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
3.5. Very interesting. Philly coming off of that beat down at home by the Niners. Dallas are they coming off the win Thursday night against Seattle?
Yep.
Right? A good win at home. I don't know, man. A lot riding on this game for the conference, for the division. Another loss for Philly could really shake things up in the NFC race.
It totally could.
I mean, the Cowboys are back in active for first. The Niners are active for first. The Lions are active for first. I don't know. Will Philly be ready to bounce back?
That's the thing. In the first matchup against these two teams, I was very confident in the Cowboys covering.
Mm-hmm.
When I was watching that game, I said the Cowboys should have won. The Cowboys neither won nor covered. So that was a case where I said, you know what? That was classic Dallas choking at the end. This game is at home. They're the favorites. They should win. Will they cover? That's where I raise an eyebrow. This is an Eagles team, like you said, and like we all know, coming off a loss. They got embarrassed in their home stadium. On the road, you expect them to have a bit of a response, a bit of a bounce back. And against an opponent they've already beaten, they know the formula to beat them again. For me, I don't want to be spiteful, but I just feel like this Eagles team is not as good as what the record shows. Every game has been close. I know the schedule has been an absolute gauntlet, but I'm not scared of this Eagles team at all, and neither should the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys right now are playing better football, and for all intents and purposes, if they don't win this game, then we know everything we need to know about Dallas. They're not legit, they're not real, and they'll likely get bounced in the postseason. This is a must-win game for Dallas, in my opinion. They need to prove to the media, they need to prove to everyone else in the league, and every team in the league, that they're for real. Possibly no Mike McCarthy, though. He had his appendix removed, and there's a decent chance he's not coaching, but maybe he is. I don't know. We'll see if he can recover in time. Obviously, getting the appendix removed is scary, but with all that being said, I'm taking Dallas. Minus 3.5. I know there's the hook. That's scary, but I just feel like Dallas is playing better right now. And I'm going to put my faith in Dak Prescott, which is a little concerning, but that's what I'm going to do. So give me Dak.
That's a tough one for me. I rode Philly for so long, hopped off the wagon. Niner gang smacked them last week. To get smacked at home like that by a top NFC foe, and now you have a top NFC foe you have to go to on the road. And it's also not also a top NFC foe. It's a top division. It's your division foe, your main division foe, because the Giants and Washington are dead in the water. It's you two.
Yeah.
And you both are going to make the postseason, more than likely.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I don't know. I get the Dallas pick, and then I just keep hearing Hurts running for those 1-yard touchdowns in the back of my head. I don't know, man. I don't know. Do they drop 2 in a row? Is the Philly team gonna hit reality after the gauntlet? The thing is, I don't disagree that Dallas can win, but that hook really bothers me. That hook really bothers me because Dallas could win by a field goal, and then what do you do then? What do you do?
I know. There's so many scenarios where Dak Prescott just gives the game away, or God forbid the Philly special teams does something crazy. Like there's so many different ways in which the Eagles can win this one that going Dallas here seems a bit jarring, a bit scary.
It'll be what can the Eagles defense do?
That's the thing. The Eagles defense is a joke right now.
Yeah, it used to be top of the line.
You cannot trust them at all. And while they're good against the run, that secondary is morbid. And this pass rush, while it can get home, there's ways to beat it. And we've seen Brock Purdy and the Commanders twice, right? Sam Howell. We've seen them tear up this Eagles secondary. So for me, Dak Prescott did it too, game 1. CeeDee Lamb had 200 yards. So yeah, for me, it's easy to see a scenario in which this Dallas offense comes alive against this poor Eagles defense.
Gosh. I really want to ride Cowboys with you.
I know, and it's not great that the public is all on the Cowboys too, but 68%. That doesn't help me, but the public is right sometimes, and
I gotta focus.
I'm not anti-public with all my picks, so I'm going public here.
I gotta focus for a minute. I gotta picture the game in my head as it's going down. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter. I'm gonna ride the Cowboys with you.
Let's go.
I don't know why. I saw a 34-27 Cowboys win in my head.
I like that score. I like that score a lot.
Isn't that weird? Yeah. I saw 34-27.
I like that score.
Interesting. That's a 7-point win.
All right. Enough said.
Wow.
Let's run it down. Game 1, Lions head to Chicago to take on the Bears. Me and Justin both on the hometown team, -3. Go Lions. Game 2, Chargers, Broncos. Chargers favorites at home, 2.5. I'm on the Bolts. Justin's on the Broncos. Game 3, Raiders hosting the Vikings. Me and Justin taking Aiden O'Connell and Antonio Pierce, the boys. +3, taking the home dog here. Game 4 should be game of the week. Bills, Chiefs. I'm on the Bills +1.5. Justin is on the Chiefs -1.5.
You could argue with the better team that Game 5 is the game of the week.
You could, and it probably is. But give me Bills Chiefs. That game always provides fireworks. But Game 5, Eagles Cowboys. Me and Justin both on the home favorite Cowboys -3.5. Dak, Dallas, Tony Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, all those guys. We're on
playing
them.
good. They're playing good. It's weird to see, but they're playing good.
Cannot wait. Cannot wait to watch that one as well. Should be a fun weekend of football. Just NFL, unless you're an Army Navy chud.
Mm-hmm.
But look, man, this is where it really gets interesting. This is where, I mean, really, you make your playoff push. It starts in December. This is really, it's the second week of December, but really, I mean, week 14 and on, you're looking at the final stretch here. You know, you're rounding third, heading home. And you got to make your march now. 5 games left in the regular season, and it starts here. It starts here.
It's now or never.
Literally, it is now or never for a lot of these teams.
It is. You see a lot of teams are already kicked out. Some are fighting with their trash scores, like the Falcons, who are like below 500, who might win their division and get in the playoffs, which is
ridiculous.
so sad that the AFC South is that bad. But, man, I don't know. Hey, special congrats to our boy Baker. Gonna be a dad.
There we go, Baker. Always winning.
Bun in the oven for the Baker.
That's oh, that's great.
Anyway, shout out Baker. Big games this
great.
weekend.
That's wow.
Shout out the Baker. Shout out this weekend. Big games. NFC, AFC. It's all going down, man. December's here. December football. The run to the playoffs is here.
Yeah.
Let's ride it.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week. NFL only. Peace.